So in this video, since mechanically wise I think it's all good, maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna be focusing on more the visual side of things on this bike, because this thing is nasty. I like bad. It needs a good bath. Just a bunch of small things like this brake handle or whatever, that's just going to try to break when you unbend it. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and replace that because I can't stand that. The wheels are nasty, and these tires, I don't know if I'm going to get that in this video because that's going to cost some money, and I'm not big on spending money, so I may wait. I don't know. This fender back here is kind of weird. It's like offset from the rear tire, and I can't stand that. That's going to get fixed. These foot pegs are pretty rough, as in, that's fine. So they tried to do that on both sides, and then you see these hose clamps. That's because they gave up on this idea, and they used this piece of rebar to go across, and then that was their foot pegs. So that's approved. But yeah, this thing is pretty solid. Like, there's surface rust, but there's no like deep rust where it's just chipping the paint off. That's how that old bike was. And then one back there was the same way. So this thing's not going to need any paint, like at all. It's really just nasty. Motor runs strong. The brake even works. That's new for me. Never had that. So which means we're probably going to mess with it, and then it's not going to work. That's always how it is with me. When they do work, I always touch it, then it doesn't work. So the biggie on this bike is that the tires do not hold air whatsoever. They don't even hold air overnight. This thing is a sucker to roll because this was the heaviest mini bike I've got so far. So let's put some air in it and then wheel it up there with the pressure washer, and then try to clean it off before it starts raining. I fired this thing up, let it run for, honestly, it was probably like 5 to 10 minutes, just because I know for a fact I got water in where that flywheel is. So I let it just sit there and get up to temperature, and use the fan to blow everything out real good in there. Goodness, I didn't clean very good right here. Of course, that may not come off either. Because those things will get rust on the magnet and stuff, and then you won't have spark. It's a whole thing. So I let that work itself out, and pretty happy with how this paint turned out. I may try to put some stuff on it to shine it up, but that looks pretty good right there too. So I'm working on the paint of this tank a little bit. Here's the side that I didn't touch. Other side was just as bad. I want to get all these scratches and stuff out. And here it is now. You can't, it's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but it is a lot better. I wish I could have got more of these scratches out, but this paint just feels so much better now. Where'd that go? Oh. I'm gonna go around and try to work out all these dents and dings and stuff. Make it look a little bit better. Alright, I shined up this rear fender and I went ahead and adjusted it to fit a little bit better. Still not perfect. Needs to go with that way a lot, but it's a lot better than what it was. So I kind of want to look at some foot pegs now, because that's the first bad spot was that fender. And now the second worst looking spot is these foot pegs. And I picked these up at a swap meet. I think they're pretty cool looking. I don't know. I think I paid like $8 for this because I got it in with a bundle deal. But I'm not sure if they'll work, but they'll look really good if they do, so they might, I don't know. Holes ain't gonna line up, but that's pretty good looking right there. So the holes need to go to the left just a hair. Actually, I don't know, do I want to drill these out or drill those out? I don't really want to do either, to be honest. We're gonna see this thing first. That's not bad. So I don't know how much I like it sticking out this much, but this is the easiest way I could think of doing it. Which this was already a piece off of the thing. See, if I loosen that, that'll allow this to move up, right? No, I don't think so. So if that's loose, then it still doesn't want to swivel up. so that's fun. You really want these to move. That way if you lay it over, you slide it for some reason. This goes up instead of like the grass hitting it and then bending this or breaking it off. So I probably need to try to figure this out a little bit better. Well, I figured it out a little bit better. So I took that square tubing, cut it to the end of this, because if you just try to bolt this on here, the way that this end's rounded, it just has to like go down and like fall down. That's why this square's here, and then it's really just bolted through. I did elongate these holes. These things weren't in that good a shape anyway, so I didn't care that much about cutting them. Or I didn't even cut them really, I just made the holes a little bit bigger. And yeah, it doesn't stick out as much as the other way I had them on there. I think this looks a little bit better. And the amount it does stick out is perfect, because that gives you a ton of room from where the clutch is. So, and I feel like that's on there good enough to stand on if you need to get up a hill or something. It also still has no way of moving like up and down, or for example on this bike does that. This thing, it sits so low when you're leaning through the turns, it doesn't take that much to ground that out. And in fact, this side has grass on it. That keeps you from bending that bracket. Of course, if you do it too good and you just hit that, it's going to bend it anyways. But this one sits so tall. In the front, I'm not too worried about it. I probably should be, but I think it should be fine for now. I'm going to go and take these the forks off, because like that bump start right there, there's just a couple things that need to be repaired, and I think they'd look good to at least go ahead and paint this part, because it's just getting rough looking in some areas. I don't know if they're supposed to come out like that, but these little bearings, I need to be super careful with that, so. That works too. Then there was a section right here where water got in and expanded this and busted it, so hit that back down. I'm gonna weld that back up. I'm assuming that's what happened, is water got in there, froze, and then made the pipe all puffy and split it. It looks surprisingly better than I thought it was going to. And I've got it set on max and then 5 wire speed, so sure. This one's going to be interesting to do because, okay, well, it's cracked on the back side too, and I didn't clean that off. I thought it was just on the front, so I got to clean that off and then got to weld that section too. This whole thing's fixing to, I may have done that when I was sitting with the hammer. Oh, I need to weld that one too. It's fixing to do the same thing. That's good. I'm out of wire. I would have loved to get right there a little bit more. I would have loved to get right there some, but I think with what I did there and on the backside, that should be plenty. I didn't hit over here. It doesn't look like it needs anything. And then I hit both the back sides here and then there, obviously. So I would love to paint this. Maybe not like the bottom portion because they don't look that bad, but like up here where you got like all these rust spots and stuff, they just don't look very good. That's where your eyes go straight to, like right here and stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to transition to next. I definitely could have cleaned this up a little bit better, but oh, there's still even dirt on that, so I just won't paint there. That's fine. Well, I've got everything put that back together and bump stops, bump stopping, I guess. The decision to paint that was a good decision. It just looks a lot better. I was just digging through my box of mini bike stuff and goodies. Here's the brake handle, or I guess lever, off of the that bike. See, it's bent, and I can't stand stuff like that. So I had this piece. I was like, oh, I'll just replace the whole thing, but this is 7/8 tubing. And this is for like a 1-inch dirt bike handlebars or whatever. Then I was looking, I got all this for like an actual bicycle, and that would work, but I don't know, it just looks a little bit too small. But I started thinking, I wonder if that handle off of this will fit, and I believe it will. Although I had it mocked up pretty good. I think it will work. It's a little big, but beats having a bent one. That's better. It still wiggles around like that, but that's fine. This grip is also broke on the end, which isn't really a big issue, but I was looking through my stash and I did find some. So it says TG on it. I think these are the same. And then this one just doesn't really feel as good, so I'm gonna throw one of these on there. I'm gonna take this tank off to try to fix it, because there's actually, I thought there's only one clip rope, but there's another one in the back. It's just doing that. That's weird looking. I'd be able to tack that back there. And this one just broke in the middle, so that should be fairly easy to fix. Oh, I'm out of wire. I forgot about that. You won't even see that, but here's the corner I've been burned through. That's fine. For some reason it did do it on that side, but it is what it is. So that definitely needs to be addressed, because it's like one right away from breaking like the other ones. Honestly, all of these need to be re-welded, so I may do that. I don't know. I may try to weld it from the inside. That way it doesn't look terrible. Just like that one corner right there. Let's try that. Alright, went ahead and fixed this area here where it was broken. And I did tape off these areas that I welded and painted. That way they just don't rust. I don't think you'll be able to see this, so I'm not going to worry about paint matching or anything, because I don't have any green paint. I like dark green paint anyways. So I'm going to let this dry and throw it back on and then see if I did any good doing this. If you're curious, all I have, I guess, to weld is that welder. It's literally the cheapest welder at Harbor Freight, and there's that is much better, and like I said, you won't even see that. So that's the most visible one, and that's not even that bad, so that's pretty good.